I'm going to show you how to make this really useful leaf cane. You can do it in any color variation you want. You can make it huge, you can make it little. It's just a very useful technique, good to have on hand. You can add leaves into a lot of different projects. And also this particular one I'm using a Skinner blend, so I'll show you how to do a quick little Skinner blend to start off with, and then I'll show you how to make this really easy cane. If you haven't done a Skinner blend before, and in this case we're going to start with two colors. I'm just doing a little mini version for you. You can start with much larger sheets of clay and get a whole giant cane, but for this purpose I'm just going to do a quick little one for you. You want to take your two colors, and these are number 1, which is the thickest setting on my pasta machine. I'm going to cut them on the diagonal. I absolutely love blending gold and green together. You get so many really cool shades. So that's one of my favorites. Excuse me. I'm going to take both pieces and make it a little bit thicker so we can get a little bit more blend out of it. Do the same for the green side. Now we're going to reassemble our rectangle. Now when you're doing a Skinner blend, if you haven't done one before, basically we're going to be blending the colors this way. So this end is going to be more gold, and this is going to be more green. There's going to be a little bit of green mixed in here. So if you want a side of pure green or in pure gold, then what you're going to do is angle it and cut it so that you start with the pure shades. But I don't actually want the pure gold and the pure green here, so I'm going to butt them right up next to each other so that even on this end I'm going to have a little bit of gold mixing in, a little bit of green mixing in on this side. All right, so you want to compress those, and we're going to do this on my noisy pasta machine. It's noisy, but it's easier to do it with a motor running. First I'm going to send it through again on a number 1, just to get these down into a number 1 sheet. So we'll move over to the pasta machine. Going to put it up against one side. Now, if you're doing a big one, you could fill the whole pasta machine, and that would hold it at the same width all across. Because I'm doing a short one, I'm going to put my finger here to keep it this size. Basically, I'm going to hold my finger there as I run the machine, and so it won't spread out. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So now we're back down to a number 1. Now when you're doing the Skinner blend, you always want to make sure your edges are the same color. That's how you know you're actually folding it in the right direction. So I'm just going to fold the bottom up to meet the top. I got a little extra green in there, but it'll blend in. Gold and gold, green and green. So you know you folded it the right way. Now when you're folding clay, don't compress it down totally because you don't want to trap air in there. So just gently fold it. I'm going to put it around one edge, against an edge, hold it there. And just keep on doing that. Several times, 10, 20 times, you'll see when it's all blended. See, it's starting to mix. You're always, to make sure you're keeping your sides in the correct alignment, I always just fold from the bottom up and keep doing that. If you're sick of holding your finger there, there's a cool little tool called the Shark that Dan Cormier invented that actually is a magnet that holds your place there, so you don't have to hold your finger there. But today we'll use my finger. Anyway, you want to keep blending that, folding and blending, and eventually you will get a sheet that grades from green on one end, goes through the blend with gold, and it's gold on the other. All right, so I took my sheet, pretend that this one is all blended up, and I actually ran it through at number 1 again. I'll do that. And then I folded it in, well, I folded it in half so that I ended up with this long narrow strip. So it was a double layer, and then I ran it through so it's number 1 again. I did that just because I want this to be nice and thin when I do my jelly roll. So I'm now going to thin this on the pasta machine so that it's pretty, I'll go down probably like a number 3 or 4 on the pasta machine. So bear with me for a minute again. I'll go down to a number 3. So the first time you're running it through, you're actually folding and blending colors. This time I just ran it through simply to lengthen the strip. And I'm going to now roll it up into a jelly roll. We can even up one edge, even up our other edge. And you can roll either way. Over here I had green in the middle. I'll do it the opposite way so you can see how that looks. So we're just going to start by flipping up that edge. Nice and tight. You want to roll it. This is just your basic jelly roll cane. Most cases you use, I just probably rolled right off camera. Most cases you use 2 colors to get the jelly roll effect, but here, because we have the different blends, we're just going from one color to the next. All right, I'm going to take a little break here and cool this down because I have to cut into this cane and it will probably squish terribly and destroy the effect. So I'm going to take a break and we'll be back in a second when my cane has cooled.